Hello, I'm Zelensky and you're watching Break the Fake. They make them, we break them, and tell you everything you need to know. The Oval Office presser. A recurring moment of yawn-inducing politeness, with perhaps a sprinkle of cringe here and there, maybe a pinch of awkwardness, but mostly lawful good or neutral good in your D&D alignment. At least until last week. Now, can anyone tell me, how did we get to chaotic evil all of a sudden? And why is the whole thing about to become a meme, like the American Chopper meme, the woman yelling at cat meme, or the Spider-Man pointing at Spider-Man meme, in its expanded version of course, with two false Spideys facing off against the real deal? And yeah, Zelensky was the real deal here, because what he said was true. Was he the master of refined diplomacy? Well, perhaps not. Could he have backed down? Maybe. But imagine being told off after calling Putin a war criminal. Imagine being told you didn't say thanks after literally doing that ad nauseum thousands of times. By now, you will all have seen the results of all this. The whole thing made the biggest MCU battles seem tame by comparison. Trump accused Zelensky of being ungrateful and kicked the Ukrainian delegation out. The rare earths deal now hangs in the balance, even though Zelensky said he wants to sign the thing. We also have more hysteria about Trump being Putin's BFF, and America throwing Europe under the rusty Soviet-made bus, bearing down on the continent at full speed. Trump also insists Zelensky is in the wrong because he, and I quote, doesn't want peace. Well, sorry to correct you there, Mr. President. I know it seems disrespectful. But Zelensky totally does want peace, except he wants peace that will last a bit longer than it takes to binge-watch Orange is the New Black. I mean, Zelensky said Russia can't be trusted. How many deals did Russia break? Minsk agreements, anyone? Budapest Memorandum? So yeah, Zelensky might have felt like he should say this because he had facts on his side. Same goes for the security guarantees, by the way. Also, the whole not wearing a suit thing. First, the journalist who asked the question, Brian Glenn, just happens to be dating none other than Marjorie Taylor Greene, the MAGA congresswoman known for shouting "not another penny for Ukraine" at every opportunity. So I suppose this was not exactly a question asked in good faith. I won't even mention Elon Musk and his sartorial misadventures at this point, but I will acknowledge a meme I saw recently. Zelensky, the man without the suit, and Trump, the suit without a man, which has to be the burn of the century, by the way. Now, some say Trump wants to hand over Ukraine to Putin in order to do the reverse Nixon thing, meaning breaking up the alliance between Russia and China. Thing is, in the Nixon era, these two were at loggerheads, while now they have common interests. But all that being said, remember one thing: the one alliance that is tried and tested is the Euro-Atlantic one. Now, Elon Musk may rant all he wants about the US leaving NATO and all that, but there is still time for cooler heads to prevail on both sides of the Atlantic. Unless, that is, the Oval Office free-for-all is going to be the new normal, and alliances are going to be changed on a whim. And I don't think we would like that. If Leonid Brezhnev were alive today, Donald Trump would already have the Order of the Red Star pinned to his golf shirt, along with the honorary title of Hero of Russia. The latest Kremlin fan club meeting was triggered by Trump's public scolding of Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy during his visit to Washington. It was a moment of sheer ecstasy for Russia's propaganda machine, which wasted no time showering their favorite US president with praise. Maria Zakharova, the Kremlin's Minister of Tantrums, was the first to pounce. I think Zelensky's biggest lie of all was his claim in the White House that Ukraine was left isolated in 2022. How Trump and Vance managed not to punch that scoundrel. Pure, divine patience. End of quote. Yes, because nothing says diplomacy like openly fantasizing about assaulting foreign leaders. Then came Dmitry Medvedev, Russia's official town drunk, who never misses an opportunity to embarrass himself on Telegram. A harsh lesson in the Oval Office. Trump was the first to tell the cocaine clown the truth, that the Kiev regime is dragging the world into World War III. But that's not enough. We need to cut off military aid to the Nazi war machine. Yeah, Medvedev, as always, appears blissfully unaware that the only regime resembling 1930s and 1940s Germany is actually the one which he himself serves. Not to be outdone, the ever-faithful Vladimir Solovyov explained that Russians never actually expected Trump to be pro-Russia, just pro-America. We respect America's national interests. We just want our own to be respected as well. A charming sentiment coming from a man whose job is to justify Russia's invasion of a sovereign nation.
We've been waiting for Trump, not because he's pro-Russian, but because he's pro-American. We want someone who does recognize national interests of the United States, who doesn't want to fight for corruption schemes in order to launder money of American taxpayers through Ukraine. That's why right now diplomacy is getting back to normal. And that's why when we vote at the UN, we just vote reasonably, according to our national interests. National interests of the United States that we respect. It doesn't mean that we always have the same view on them, but we respect them. National interest of Russia that we want to be respected. And it's easy to understand one another when we're not talking about some weird terms, the only purpose of which is to cover the outrageous laundry scheme of stealing American taxpayers' money. It's not about war conflict between Ukraine and Russia, no. It's about enormous amount of money and enormous amount of years of lies and money being stolen. And right now, when there is an image of ugly Russians killing babies, raping Ukrainian women and all other stuff, I'm always asking very easy question. Give me the proof.
All right, so he actually moved on to doing English language content now. Great. By the way, didn't he want to nuke the very same American taxpayers that he is now protecting? I think he did. Anyway, in the meantime, Dmitry Suslov, a Kremlin-affiliated analyst, read professional Kremlin daydreamer, declared the Trump-Zelensky fallout to be the final nail in the coffin for Ukraine. The public dispute in the Oval Office, the collapse of talks, the refusal to sign agreements on Ukraine's natural resources, this has brought us closer to ending the war on Russia's terms, and marks the beginning of the end for Zelensky. End of quote. Of course, in Moscow's version of reality, every setback for Ukraine is somehow a historic Russian victory, even when it isn't. And let's not forget Viktor Orban, Russia's favorite EU saboteur, who dutifully parroted Kremlin's talking points yet again. Trump is doing exactly what he promised, working to bring peace. Meanwhile, Ukraine refuses peace, at least on the terms offered by the Americans. End of quote. Yes, how unreasonable of Ukraine to reject peace terms dictated by a country that invaded them and continues to bomb their cities daily. By the way, the same terms for some reason mostly were picked up by the Trump administration and then used as a proposal for peace. Would you actually agree to a peace like that? Think of it for a moment.
Amerikai elnök, amelyik meglepte a világot azzal, hogy azt csinálja, amit ígért. Ő előre megmondta, hogy ezt fogja csinálni. Például a béke ügyében is megmondta előre, hogy minden eszközzel békét fog teremteni. És most ezt teszi. És közben az ukrán elnök meg nem akar békét, vagy legalábbis nem akar olyan föltételekkel békét, mint amit az amerikaiak ajánlanak. Miközben ez az Ukrajna egyébként a végsőkig kimerült. Meghalt rengeteg ember, árvák, özvegyek, iszonyatos anyagi pusztítás, elmenekült több millió ember. Lényegében lélegeztető készüléken van Ukrajna. Ha az Európai Unió és az amerikaiak nem adnak pénzt, akkor az ukránok nem tudnak harcolni, sőt az ukrán állam sem tud talpon maradni.
The Kremlin's delusions remain as grand as ever. They dream of a world where Trump hands Ukraine over to them on a silver platter. Europe bows to Russian demands, and history magically rewinds to the days when Moscow dictated Eastern Europe's fate. But reality has a funny way of disappointing dictators, especially ones who mistake wishful thinking for strategy. And with this, we conclude this edition of Break the Fake. Please stay with us here on TVP World for more latest news and updates.